So I have some dough here that I set up earlier, and it's pretty thin. I like it thin. Probably going to be some occasions when I wished I could do something with two hands here. So I wonder if I could prop this up somehow. Lean it against stuff on my counter, and see if I can drop my phone into a bowl of olives. Look at that. So I got some dough here. It's pretty thin. I like it thin. Pretty much just set it up on the counter. And then I get pizza peel. Put some semolina flour on the pizza peel. Just enough so that the pizza dough can slide around on it. It's probably a little bit too much, but better safe than sorry. And take this dough, kind of flop it onto the peel. And I think you can see it kind of just sits there. It's got a little wrinkle on it. I always test it to see if you can slide it with there's nothing on there. Take some pizza sauce, which I have already made, and sort of plop it on. Get some on my thumb, I guess. Okay, hold on a second, sweetie. I am also feeding my kids right now, and I'm neglecting them to show you how to make my own pizza. So be grateful. So put some pizza on. I just sort of use the back of a wooden spoon to spread the sauce around. Very subjective, however much sauce you like. That's probably about right for me. I don't know. Have some grated cheese here, already grated. Pretty convenient. Just sort of sprinkle it around. And sometimes I actually push just a little bit on the pizza with the cheese on it. You don't want to smash it so much that you break the air bubbles in the crust, but you can do a little shaping after the cheese is on. And obviously the cheese kind of keeps your hands from sticking into the sauce and stuff. So you can see that pretty well, actually. I'm pretty happy with this impromptu olive bowl prop for the camera. And speaking of olives, that's what I'm putting on my pizza tonight. Just a few olives sprinkled around. Black olives happen to be what I have around. I like Kalamata olives a lot too. And I think things are going to get tricky here again because I want to show you all what it looks like when I put it in the oven, which has been preheating for a long time. I actually cooked the two mini pizzas that I tweeted making for my kids with my kids' help. And now I'm going to, I've had that oven on for over an hour total at 550, the maximum the oven will go to. Just a standard oven. But 550 is as high as it goes. Some people hack their ovens to make them go higher. Haven't done anything like that. But I have a pizza stone in there, getting as hot as it can. Sometimes I broil the pizza stone before to make it even hotter. This time I'm just going to go with what I'm working with here because I, a little compromised here. So take this peel. Again, I make sure that it slides. You never want to find out once you're on the halfway onto the hot stone that it doesn't slide. And just sort of slide it out there. Sometimes I take the opportunity to stretch it a little further on the stone using the friction of the stone itself. Close it as fast as possible, faster ideally than I just did, because you want to keep all that heat trapped in there. Now that it's in there, I can get my kids a couple slices of pizza, but I will actually keep this stream going, assuming it works. so that I can answer some questions maybe and show you what it looks like when it comes out. I don't know if there's a time limit for this stuff. You want some more?
Yeah, I want more too.
Okay. And let's see. You can kind of see through here what it looks like through the grill. And yeah, normally I would set a timer. I'm a little afraid what will happen if I try to set the timer here with the what's it called, Periscope going. So can somebody say if you can hear me? I just don't know if I'm talking to nobody here, if you're just seeing this as a good, thank you. So normally I would set a timer and then I usually set a timer for 4 minutes and then I check on it. And that seems like a pretty good rule for the heat that I get to with 550 and a pizza stone and trying to make it as hot as possible. Ideally it would be faster, but I haven't got the right temperature. So, you can see it's starting to do things in there. Maybe if I hold back, it's a little bit better to view. I think we're dealing with some autofocus issues here. So, that's creepy about the map. Sorry about that. Please don't tell anybody. And the pizza stone is something I got so many years ago, over 10 years ago, that I don't know where it's from, but it's kind of one of these things that I like it because it's a rectangular slab of ceramic, and I haven't cracked it yet, but it's just a nice big tough thing. I like having a big target for the pizza to land on when you go into the oven. And it's big, so I think it retains heat better than some really thin pizza stone might. The dough and the sauce are, there's so much to say. Basically, I use a basic recipe that originated from Mark Bittman from How to Cook Everything. And I've evolved it over the years. There's some good stuff out there. Varasano's pizza recipe, if you look that up, he has a lot of good opinionated advice about dough. But my opinion is, essentially, you don't need much for dough. You just need, I only use flour, water, yeast, and salt. And some people use oil. I don't usually bother with that. It's all about the technique with dough, not so much about the ingredients, I think. It's all about how you get the chemistry to happen in the dough. So it's kind of hard to say what's a recipe for it. Although Jim, I think his name is Jim Leahy's No Knead pizza dough is apparently very successful and good, and I've been meaning to try it. Letting it rise overnight, it does get better if I have leftover dough and I leave it in the fridge for days. It's better, and I think Jim Leahy's No Rise pizza dough is along those lines. Sauce. I use a cooked sauce. People debate whether to make cooked or raw sauces. I like the flavor of the cooked sauce better so far. At least that's been my experience. And it's just I start with tomatoes, peeled tomatoes from a can, just some oregano. I think we're all out of pizza, honey. Okay, I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm almost done here. So I start with tomatoes, peeled tomatoes from a can, oregano, salt, some garlic. Cook it for kind of like as long as you want to, and I use an immersion blender to blend it all up, and then sometime towards the end of the cooking I add a little red vinegar, and that works for me. As you can see, this thing's starting to bubble up here. So normally I would have the timer going and I come back and check on it. Here I'm just, as long as I don't get too distracted talking to you guys, I'm basically just keeping an eye on it. Trying not to open the oven because I don't want the heat to leave. But I'll just cheat a little bit so you can see what it looks like. It's kind of bubbling up in there. I may have missed some, these comments seem to go by, so I may have missed something. If I didn't see it and you feel like I didn't answer your question, just ask it again. I'm kind of getting the hang of this. Hi.
Hi. you sending this to Mommy?
No, I'm sending it to some other people.
No.
Just people on the internet. My son is trying to come to terms with the concept of Periscope. Does your pizza just have sauce, cheese, and olives and nothing else? Yes. And dough. The other people, yes. Thank you for joining me, the other people. Don't be creepy about my home being on a map somewhere. I'm going to file a bug about that. Yes, it is my first live broadcast cooking show. It's my second ever live broadcast at all. My first was walking to the train last night. So, trying to embrace... Oh, I gotta pay attention to this pizza here. Yeah, my children must be really confused. So I would say that's getting close to done, and some people might take it out now. I think I might feel that that's a little raw still. And it's sort of just a matter of experience and how you come to decide how well your crust cooks. Obviously, a big part of pizza is getting the crust to cook and the cheese to sort of brown at a rate that you find acceptable. And to have them happen at the same time. I made it, as you saw, a pretty thin crust, so I think with the pizza stone especially, it's probably cooking pretty well in there. I don't know how long it's been. It seems like it's been longer. I think maybe it's been 6 minutes or more. So it may have been that the oven was cooled off by cooking the other pizzas for my kids. It seems like this is a little slow. And but we're just going to count this as a success if I manage to get something on video and get a pizza that's edible out of the oven. So, basically, a lot of people ask me when I post pictures of my pizzas and stuff, they ask me, like, what's the recipe? And it's one of those kinds of things where I feel like there's no recipe that's going to make this work for you overnight. So I actually wrote one blog post about this so far. You can search for it if you want to. I think it's called Make Pizza. And it's on my Punk It Up blog, I think, danielpunkcast.blogspot.com. And it basically just encourages you to get started with as many crutches as you want or need. Because this is really about experience, just about trying it. And, you know, if this was my first pizza, I'd be freaking out. I'm already kind of freaking out because I'm about to burn a pizza. But if this was my first pizza, I would be in no place to try to do an internet broadcast about it. So that looks maybe a little crispy, but perfectly edible. You can see if look underneath, it's stiff, pretty stiff, crispy crust on the bottom. That's it. I don't know, A/B testing without the stone. I wouldn't bother because I'm just so convinced that with the stone it's helping me get a faster bake, which is what I am convinced is necessary to get the kind of pizza I'm looking for. People make very good pizzas that are kind of slower baked on a metallic tray or something. But the whole idea here is to try to get things cooking fast, and this is what you've seen me do with the 550 degree oven is substandard for that, but we make do. Yeah, imagine a lot of toppings on it. Yeah, I'm pretty basic. I actually limited myself mostly to making just cheese pizzas for years because it's a kind of self-constraint to try to focus on the basics. And it's actually, I would say, I believe strongly that cheese pizza is the hardest pizza to make of any pizza. And this anytime you add a topping, it hides mistakes. So it's a good idea, actually. Add toppings if you want to make pizza that tastes better to you. Thanks, Ian Broyles. That's nice to hear. Too bad this wasn't out while you were doing your home renovations. I don't understand that comment, but maybe you can help me understand it. I like these hearts. Does that mean people like it? What cheese do you use? I just use mozzarella from a package. I actually don't think that anything I find is too ideal. I'm using today mozzarella from Trader Joe's, whole milk, low moisture. I grew up in California where I felt like I had different mozzarellas that were better. Precious, I think, was the brand I used to use when I was a kid. I haven't been making pizza since I was a kid, but my mom made it, and I would sometimes help. But I was concerned for a long time, what cheese should I be using? Should I be using low fat? I don't know, but I kind of came to the conclusion eventually that basically like New York style pizza places use some kind of variant of, generally they use, if they're going to use this, the hard mozzarella you find in the package is called aged mozzarella as opposed to fresh mozzarella. And it's drier. I think it's better the drier and firmer it is. It's going to be less wet, getting water all over your pizza. So whole milk, I would say I would prefer whole milk. It is fattier. It's good. Oil, I like oil. I like grease. Anything else? I'm gonna switch to my face here. I think I'm going to. Swipe down to stop. Double tap to flip camera. Doesn't work. Can't get it to work. Anyway, I got some kind of message up here that I can't get to go away. Hide, no. Oh. So, this is me in my kitchen, and never did a video selfie before, except for on my walk to the bike path last night. If nobody else has any questions, I think I'll stop this soon. I'm gonna go back out of self-conscious, looking at something we're all more interested in, and I'm gonna go tend to my kids. So thanks for listening, and this was kind of a fun experiment to show you how a pizza can go from raw ingredients on the counter to something that bakes and is now ready for me to eat in the course of a video broadcast. So take care.